I mean, the question is, do we actually think, and this is the big debate, and this might be our clip this week, I feel like, 'cause this is the interesting bit that I want to talk about. We've talked a lot about what's missing. Do we think we're going to enter more of a merch renaissance in Russell T Davies' second era? Do we think we're going to go back to the way it was with merch? Do you think it's going to become more mainstream because of Disney Plus? How do we feel about that?
Like, you got to wonder, haven't you? Because Disney is big on merch. And it's like, it seems like Russell's big on merch though as well. So it's like,
there's a thing to be said, isn't there, about as soon as Russell left, the merch starts to slowly go downhill. It's all down to him. That's what it is.
It's like he's suddenly back in the magazine all the time, and it seems like he's like really passionate about the stuff. It's just there's the demand.
Yeah. He's the man's 6'6". He just stands over the merch companies and goes, "You will make this stuff," and then they can't say no.
Do it.
I didn't realise how tall he was till I saw him on Graham Norton last week, by the way. Because,
really?
Yeah.
Wow. He is a unit. He's so tall. Oh, yeah. He came on stage and gave Graham a hug, and I was like, "What? I never knew Russell T Davies was so tall." And then at one point they said he was 6'6", and I was like, "Blimey! He's a massive guy. Not wide, like tall. I mean, like he's a big, yeah. I feel like just having it, not just because Russell's back in charge, and I feel like he might be able to help push for that. I mean, not everything goes down to him. It's like when John Barron made all those comments saying, "Oh, they won't bring back Torchwood because of Stephen Moffat," and Moffat was like, "Mate, I don't have the power to block that even if I wanted to." He's like, "I don't know why he keeps throwing people my way about that." Like, Russell doesn't control everything. But there's also, like we said, I mean, it's going to be more mainstream. As you said, Chloe, Disney love to push their merch. So, like, there's a big thing behind that. I mean, Marvel merch is everywhere. Marvel kind of is kind of as the place Doctor Who does when it comes to merch these days in the UK, at the very least, and about everywhere else, probably everywhere else as well when you think about it.
Same in Australia, can confirm.
Which I'm not complaining about. I own far more Marvel Pops than I should, but that's not the point. I know there's more to merch than Pops, but look, I don't have the money to spend on other things than Pops, alright? Like, I don't have it, that's it. I'm barely buying Pops as is now, I ain't got the room for them. But, like, I feel like there is an interesting argument to be had there, because obviously we're going to be going into, you know, a new era where it's going to be on Disney Plus. We're going to have loads of new eyes on it, and I feel like the best way to get a brand to sell is to have merch ready whenever you put something new out. You know, you go and watch the new Marvel film and go, "I want to buy the merch. I want to go and buy the Pops. I want to buy this. I want branded Ant-Man stuff or whatever for the new film." Or anything like that. Star Wars, you know? Oh, I've just seen Rey in a movie, I want a lightsaber. Like, people will make those connections, and people with money or with kids that will beg for this stuff will go, "I want this, can I have this?" And, like, if you capitalise on it correctly, you can make sometimes more money from just getting merch sales than you can from, like, people even watching the show. It's like the classic gig thing with bands. You know, bands will charge maybe cheap tickets for gigs, and then their merch is just off the charts expensive. I know for a fact Pale Laser made far more money off me on merch than they have on gigs. So I feel like they'll try and push more merch out because of this big Disney deal.
I know what you were saying as well. They got all weird Jodie merch at the start of her era, so like we should like let these guys have a chance. Maybe not just push out loads of weird stuff like last time. Hopefully they've learnt their lesson and just be like, "Is the right amount?"
What was the weird stuff from Jodie's?
So like the Pating Pop Funko, like who?
All right, that kind of strange.
That? Yeah, like.
Yeah, who would want that?
Who owns that? Who owns that? Yeah, who owns that?
You've got them all.
But I understand.
But yeah, it's not for everyone. It's for the hardcores. Whereas I think merch needs to be a bit for everyone.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. That's the thing. Like, the Pops people will collect very casually, unless you're me. Because now, like, the fact that I can say I own every Doctor Who Pop, it's not something to
boast about all the time,
There's a lot of Doctor Who Pops. There's a lot. There's like 3 different TARDISes for one thing. It's a weird old time. It's a weird old time.